You're listening to original Lillian Axe drummer Danny King, and I am currently in a project called Powershrine and Sledgehammer, my second project, and you are listening to me on Blevins Nation. Rock on.
All the answers, you always seem like you knew it all. Be better off we took our chances, for the world's got us by the ball. Take a breath as I go under, and I think where I went wrong. Part of me can't help but wonder, part of me wants to be less strong.
Blevins Nation Entertainment and BlevinsNation.com, the place to go for all the best in rock and roll music, new rock, and podcast. So sit back, hold tight, and open up your ears. The revolution is here. Now here's your host, Chris.
Hey everybody, this is Chris with Blevins Nation, and we're talking with Danny King, drummer. Used to be with Lillian Axe, now he is with a band called Powershrine, and they just released a new single. How's it going?
It's going very well. How's it going, Blevins Nation?
Oh, it's good.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh yes, definitely. Things are good. I just released my 100th episode, which was a milestone. God. That's
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. I wished I would have written 100 songs in my lifetime that sold, but that hasn't happened yet. But
yeah, me too. Welcome to my world. Working on it.
Oh yeah. Never give up. So,
right.
But that brings me to something that I say to people all the time. If you're gonna do something, stick to it. Especially if it's something you love. So many people start and then they let it die, musician wise.
Yeah.
And writing and just they let life or the scene or the industry choke the shit out of them, and that's just.
Well, you know what? It can really beat you down, man. I mean, it's something, it has to be a passion, I'm sure every artist says that same old cliche thing, but if it's something that you love doing and you get off on doing, the frustration kind of tends to roll off, especially, someone like myself who's been in and out of it for many, many years now, I'm used to it. So,
yeah.
It's all about putting out the music. It's about the creating, and it's about sharing it and watching people dig it. That's really what it's all about. We're not doing it for money. I mean, hell, what money? It's not like anybody's paying for it, paying us for it. So, it's just all about the love of doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I did. I got bitter. I did music my whole life until 12 years ago, and I got bitter because they were releasing music that wasn't mine, and I didn't think it was as good as mine, and that was wrong of me. I shouldn't have been that way, and I quit for 12 years, but I'm back at it now. So, but yeah, and like you said, take time off, and it's a bug, man. It keeps it's like a acid trip. You have a relapse of it. You got to keep.
Well, you know what? We all grow up. We all grow up, and our lives evolve, and there's times when it's just, unless you're really rolling in the dough and successful from it, there's times when you almost have to walk away and say, hey, you know what? This has got to take a back seat.
Yeah.
Family and kids, and that whole story. That's just, at least in my case, that sort of happened, and I got out of it for a while, and it always calls you back eventually, sooner or later.
It does. It does.
In my case, it was after many, many years of really, literally not doing it at all. The whole Circle of Light thing came about, where the original 4 Lillian Axe members, myself, Steve Blaze, Mike Max, who is the original bass player, and again now currently the bass player of Lillian Axe, he got back in a little over 2 years ago.
Right.
That is my writing partner and my everything partner. Him and I are the ones who formed Powershrine together.
Okay.
And of course, Johnny Vines, the late great Johnny Vines, one of my oldest, dearest friends, who came from us a couple of years ago now. We were inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame for our work with Lillian Axe, and that sort of sparked a big buzz, and that became the Circle of Light project. Since Lillian was still together, we couldn't really use the name Lillian Axe,
right?
So we took the name of one of our old songs, Circle of Light, and we called it that, and we did a little recording, and we did a few shows together, and just had a great time doing it.
Yeah, I actually saw one of those shows. I want to say it was at Fire, maybe in Jackson.
Probably in Jackson. Yeah, I know you're a Jackson guy, and that was a second home for us back in the day. Yeah, we did our very first show at Circle of Light at Club Fire in Jackson.
Oh, okay. So that was that. I think that was actually a Creek reunion show.
I pretty much nowadays with Facebook, from what I can tell, most every show in Jackson is some kind of Creek reunion or another.
I know. I know. They've kind of wore that out. It's not a it's not a once a year thing.
It'll never wear out for me. It'll never wear out for me. That place was legendary. We had such great times there.
Yes, big times.
It still lives on in a lot of people's lives and hearts and memories. So that tells you the power of the place.
It does. I mean, that place is, I hate to say world renowned, but it's definitely U.S. renowned,
It was renowned in my world.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, a lot of Jackson places were like that. I never, as a teenager then, most anybody could get into the Creek. So that was cool. So we got to see all kind of cool bands. And a lot of those bands were...
It's safe for us to out Clyde now for letting in minors. I think he's safe. Yeah. I think he's isolated, and the statute of limitations is long past, so I think he's safe.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, hell, half the guys that were playing in the bands were damn 15 and 16.
Yeah, I tell you, I wasn't far from illegal. Back when I started playing there myself, I was just a young punk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very cool. Now, were you still in the band when y'all played with, I want to say it was Striper and Queen? No, not Striper.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Were you still in the band?
Striper, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We did several shows with Striper.
Right. But I mean, the one at the Coliseum, was it Queensryche?
Rat and Queensryche.
Yes, that's right.
That's the one we did it. We got put, at the time, we were, unsigned for some ungodly reason. Yeah. We hadn't secured a record deal yet. But we were put on the Rat tour to help them sell out tickets in a lot of our markets that we were strong in. they weren't selling out. That was an amazing, album band, but live they didn't always sound that great. And at least that's how it was put to us. They were having trouble selling tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So we were good to sell those last, 10,000 tickets in our strong markets because we had built such a reputation over the years of touring and touring so hard that we were literally sought out and put on the bill as a third band to for all of the region that we were big in. They had us on there to help them sell out the rest of the tickets. We did, I believe, 4 shows. The first 4 shows of the run were Rat and Queensryche. And then Queensryche went off on their own. They were really peaking at that point with Mindcrime, I think.
Right.
And they I think it was the end. The tour we were on was the end of Rage for Order. But I think Mindcrime had maybe just come out. I don't recall. I should know because it's one of my both of those are 2 of my all-time favorite albums.
Oh,
I love Queensryche.
Hell yes.
They were great guys, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we did a run of shows with Rat and Poison. Poison was literally just bursting onto the scene, exploding onto the scene, should I say, because they really did. Mm-hmm. And so we did the last run of shows was opening for them, and that is basically how we ended up securing our record deal was Rat's manager on the very first night we played with them. Here we are, this little unsigned band that nobody knew who the hell we were, and we were on one little tiny tent on the stage, 7 lights and the little fraction of the PA that they let us have. And we kind of went out there and we made a big impression. And by the time we got off the stage the first night, our Rat manager, Marshall Burl, was in our dressing room waiting for us, to offer us a deal if we would sign with him.
That's amazing.
So,
well,
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We told them, I believe we played it cool and told them, all right, well, I tell you what, get us the record deal, and then we'll sign with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the rest was history.
That's cool, and that's what even though y'all were awesome, I loved y'all, saw y'all plenty of times before you ever got signed, but it's always, no matter how good you are or not, it's being in the right place at the right time. A lot of times, not always.
Oh, absolutely. Knowing the right people and kissing the right asses and all of that bullshit. Can you say bullshit on this show?
You can say whatever you want. It's fine.
Fucking A. Cool.
Damn right. So yeah, and I tell people that all the time. They're like, oh, we're so good and this and that. And well, I don't care how good you are. If you get out of Mississippi, you're not going to, and I can't say that now because damn it to hell, y'all, well, was your first show in Jackson or was it somewhere else?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear you. They haven't got the greatest connection in the world.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, did y'all, I was saying that I tell people get out of Mississippi, but then I say, I can't say that anymore because that you're not going to get seen in Mississippi because, y'all opened for Rat in Mississippi at the Jackson Coliseum. Was that the first show?
Nowadays the internet's a big thing, a much bigger thing. I wish we'd have had it more back then.
Oh my God!
I think Lillian Axe would have been a far bigger success if we would have had the internet back then.
Oh yes, definitely.
There's a level of self-promotion that you can do now that back then you had to rely on the record company to do for you, and they just really didn't do it for us. It just never happened. They didn't push it. They didn't put the money behind it or the support behind it. We just sat there and festered on the shelves,
Yes. And that's such a bad thing. I hear that and see that so many times since the 80s. And I'm sure it happened before then, But just from talking with, and interviewing different people, it happens. And today, you can't use that, and not saying that you used it as an excuse. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is bands can't say that anymore because it was a do-it-yourself, kind of a grassroots thing back in the day before you got signed. So now it's the same thing, even if you are signed, because there's no real major labels unless you're a pop star or R&B or something,
Yeah, the industry is just completely morphed into the Zorro world now. It used to be you put out albums and then you went and toured to sell albums.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you don't even, it's almost pointless to even put out albums. You can put out singles and then you're basically touring to make money and selling the song it's just everything's gotten backwards. It used to be the other way around. You toured to sell the record. Now you tour, now you're touring to survive. You see musicians out there like Corey Taylor's and guys like that are in 2-3 different bands. They get off tour with one, they get out there on the road with another to keep that income coming in, that revenue stream going.
Yes.
It's just really completely turned the business on its ear. Since the internet, the whole thing. Dinosaurs like me are just, my head's still spinning trying to figure out what happened.
I know what you mean. If I wasn't in it all the time, I would be in the same, position. But, there's no excuse anymore. You have to get out there and push it any way you can. And, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it can.
But you know what? At least there's a tool out there that, God, I shudder to think in the 80s if we had the internet.
Oh, my God.
And the ability that you have now, what Lillian could have been.
Oh, I know.
While the iron was still hot and they weren't striking, well, we could have struck. We could have done a lot more. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe. Who can say?
Yeah.
Living in the past, the hell with it. Nowadays, it's about Powershrine, buddy.
Exactly. There we go. Let's get on Powershrine here real quick. Cool. Powershrine, the bass player, your original bass player you were talking about a little while ago. What's his name again? I forgot.
Mike Max.
Mike Max. That's right.
He is the original Lillian Axe bass player. Mm-hmm. Who is currently playing again with Lillian Axe, I believe I mentioned.
He's also doing power player. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He's also doing. Is it Sledgehammer? Isn't he the same guy?
Yeah, well, so am I.
Oh, that's right. You're in. Damn it! To hell, I forgot that. Okay.
Yeah, I just did my 4th show with Sledgehammer Saturday night. My 4th show as drummer for Sledge. So that's Michael and myself and Stevie. Yes. Blaze. So of course he's in Sledgehammer.
Yes.
So it's the 3 of us, the original 3 Lillian guys, minus Johnny. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Love and miss that man every day. So the 3 of us, are back together doing the Sledgehammer thing, and I like to think that every night we go on stage, Johnny's looking down and smiling and rocking out with us.
Yes. Question about that: can Sledgehammer or not? I mean, not can. Would Sledgehammer ever play any, let's say, old first Lillian Axe that did not make it on a record?
Well, I would say this. It's like when we did Circle of Light.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie's still very much involved in Lillian. It's always will be. It's his baby. It's his brainchild. It's his life's blood. When we did Circle of Light years ago, we even though a lot of the songs that Lillian was doing were the 4 of us, before Ron and Rob and John and Darren and the many other guys came along in the different incarnations of the band. Each was wonderful in its own way. But a lot of the music that they were doing the first couple of albums was all stuff from us. But Stevie didn't really want to mix the bands together, and I get that.
Right.
So what we did with Circle of Light was pull nothing but obscure, unrecorded, songs that that were just sitting on the scrap heap for years. That's basically what Circle of Light was. It was just hey, let's get together. What the hell are we going to play? Stevie doesn't want to do these. Well, what about all those old ones? Let's pull those back out of mothballs and knock the dust off of those.
Right.
So we did it.
Okay.
Now, with regard to Sledgehammer, to answer your question, we actually do Dream of a Lifetime every night.
Oh, no shit.
Just the one song, yeah.
Right.
And the other night, actually Saturday night, we played a show Saturday night, and I had a huge bass drum pedal malfunction during the middle of, actually I had about 6 of them during the set. So at one point I was like literally back there, me and one of the roadies were back there trying to rebuild my drums in the middle of the show. Stevie and our singer Jesse Mack went into a little acoustic impromptu version of Nobody Knows. Just to keep the audience from walking out, to the dead silence while I fumbled with my gear. So we dabble, we pay homage to it, shall we say?
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I didn't know because I knew he wouldn't want to do especially anything
And I
newer.
understand it. It's not
Yes.
like it's not like he's being a weenie or anything. It's just you know what he's got Lillian already. Let's not it's kind of weird covering yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was getting at. Did y'all cover anything that maybe was before and never made it on a record? But I didn't know that that's actually how Circle of Light came about and was doing.
Yeah, that Circle of Light album is
That's
all
cool.
old, previously scrapped Lillian Axe songs. That didn't make it. Once we got signed and changed members, they just kind of went by the wayside. Those were that whole album was songs that we dug out of the mothballs and recorded with Johnny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. Okay. That's very cool. Good thing to learn.
See,
So,
I knew there was a reason for this interview.
exactly. But yeah, let's get on Powershrine now. Now,
Please.
who's the singer? Or let's just say who all's in the band now.
Powershrine is basically Michael and I, who I keep alluding to Michael because he's my musical soulmate, and if you remove all the manly love overtones from that.
Okay, so yes,
Pick it back up there. Train of thought.
Yes.
Michael Max and I. He's my bass player in every project I'm involved in, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't need any other bass players. He's a beast. He's my buddy, and we work together wonderfully, and always have, always will. So he and I originally put Powershrine together years back.
Okay.
Actually, it was more of a lighter rock project back then. Did a couple of 3-song EPs. Did a few shows together with a different singer. Michael, instead of bass, was actually playing guitar.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm not downing him as a guitar player. He's a good guitar player. And he was writing all the music, and But I was just like, "What are you doing, man? You're like the best bass player I know. You're just an animal. What are you doing? Play bass."
Mm-hmm.
So we did the thing for a little while, and it wasn't. I don't know. It just something about it was it had some decent stuff, but I don't know. Didn't blow our skirts up, and it just sort of petered out after a little while, and it sat dormant for a couple of years, and then we put it back together a little over a year and a half ago. We got together and decided to put it together the way we thought it should have been, which is heavier, this kind of stuff that he and I always really were into.
Yeah.
So we formed a new lineup. We got a young singer that we've worked with in the original Powershrine, Josh LaRose, out of Houma, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Little young gun, amazing little player, great guy to work with. His childhood friend, another great guitar player. That we have dual lead guitarists. Neither one of them's rhythm. They're both lead guitarists. They both trade off.
Okay.
They've played together all their lives. Really good players. Really good together. And a singer from a band that Josh and I were in together at one point, an all-original New Orleans metal band called Intrepid Bastards. His name is Brandon Margavio, and he's just a really powerful, great metal singer, great voice, great sound. Also just terrific to work with. All three of the guys. As I've grown older, talent is great. It's a wonderful thing. Gotta have it. But it's almost the most important thing to me is, can I work with these guys? Are they jack offs? So
Amen.
Are they going to get on my nerves? Or or can I get into a practice room with these guys every week and not want to kill them?
Yes.
And that's a huge thing. And this lineup is just harmonious. Everybody's really on the same page and really get together. And we Michael and I basically write the stuff. He's the rhythmic generator.
Mm-hmm.
He spews out riffs, and then I take them and sort of arrange them into a structure, into a skeleton, and I put words and a melody to it. He and I go over it and get a rudimentary arrangement, and then we teach it to the other guys, and then everybody has their input. What if we change that? What if we do this? Until we just get it to where it needs to be, and then we pop into the studio and go record one. We decided, why are we sitting here waiting to put out an album or an EP? Well, we got a good song, we like this, let's go put it out there, and then we can take our time and work on the next one.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing now. And I believe out of the kindness of your heart, you are going to play our single at some point. It's called Skin. We've just released it this past month. It's available on all outlets for download and streaming, and just about all of them. I would list them all, but it would take too long. There's too many.
Definitely.
If you look for it, it's out there. You'll find it. It's called Skin by Powershrine, and we really hope you like it. We did it at OCD Studios with Dwayne Simino, amazing engineer. He sort of co-produced it with us. And we're actually going in, I think, the 26th and 27th of this month, or the 27th and 28th. I would have to look. I'm unprepared, forgive me, to record a new one, or maybe two. We've got several on the burner. We've been busy. And, we'll just sort of be sort of like Johnny Appleseed running around sprinkling a song here and there, every few months as we feel the need, or as we have one that we feel is ready to put out. We'll just do it that way. And, like I said, for us, it's not about money or success. We love making the music.
Yes.
We love forming the music, refining it, recording it, and putting it out there, and seeing if people dig it. That's how we get off.
That's cool. That's cool, man. Now, and yes, I am definitely playing that song this Sunday, and of course, my show, my radio.
Well better, you promise.
I know.
You promise.
Well, I was
Don't
supposed
dick
to
me
this
around,
past.
Blevins.
I was supposed to this past weekend, but sometimes shit happens, and I have to do a specialty show. So, but I'm definitely getting
you bullshit, are you?
But I'm definitely getting it on this Sunday. And my radio show is every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and that's Eastern time. And it's rockrageradio.com. Yeah. Well, I got to, So, but definitely check this interview out and many more on blevinsnation.com. Which is
That's right, blevinsnation.com for all of my people out there listening.
Oh, yes.
Check him out. Guy's good enough to give me some time on his show. You damn well better listen to him.
That's right, exactly. So, I got a question about Powershrine. Do y'all plan on playing out any, or have you?
We do. We do. We actually do. Yeah, we play. We have a sort of a. We do a lot of. We primarily, when we go out there and do shows, we're primarily a metal cover band.
Oh, okay.
Just because there really aren't any out there. There's just nobody out there doing it. And now we're seeing why, because we get out there. It's not easy to get booked playing our song list. We're doing Sabbath and Pantera and, Typo Negative and, White Zombie and all kinds of, Slayer and just all kinds of heavier stuff that, we really get off on.
That's
Unfortunately,
cool.
club owners don't get off on it as much as we do, but our fans love it, and we just have a ball doing it. It's just so much fun. And then we're just slowly but surely incorporating one more and then another, getting our own stuff in there with it.
That's cool.
And then doing these little recordings. It's just a labor of love, man, is what it is.
Okay, very cool. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if your outlet to play live was just, Sledgehammer. I wanted to make sure that, y'all got out and played too, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Absolutely, dude. We try to get in a couple of shows a month.
Yeah, I love the writing. I love going to the studio, but it's just nothing like playing live. That's the thing I miss.
Oh yeah, no comparison. You're absolutely right. Yeah. It's two different rushes, two different kinds of satisfaction.
It is.
When you're out playing, it's just purely adrenaline and the rush of the crowd and people looking at you and screaming and just getting off on it. It's just a pure energy, adrenaline, rush and it's just fun and exciting. The studio, writing and recording is sort of like having a baby and raising it, nurturing it and making sure he doesn't grow up all fucked up and, hopefully it comes out okay and you can release it out into the world when you're finished.
Exactly. I've never thought about it that way. That's awesome.
Yeah. You raise it, you teach it, and you send it out there on its own and hope it doesn't kill anyone.
Yeah. Or does it come back,
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you kidding me? I still got a room here boarded up in my place from my 23-year-old son, in case he tries to come back.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, heck yeah, man. So, 27th, 28th of this month, you said you're going back in the same studio and working with the same guy?
Absolutely. We have a relationship with Dwayne that I developed with another band that I was in, and I fell in love with his studio, and I fell in love with working with him.
Okay.
He's fabulous at what he does. You'll hear the production on this song that we did. We recorded the thing basically in one night, and he mixed it and mastered it. And, I mean, it's just the quality is really, really good. He's also done several of Crowbar's last albums. I don't even know how many.
Okay.
But at least 3, 4, 5 of Crowbar's last few albums are done at OCD Studios, and the brand new Exhorter album, which is just hit, just dropped like a month ago, that is just amazingly good. It's so good. It was such a long wait for those guys to do another record, but it's out now, and it's unbelievable. They recorded at OCD with Dwayne also.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, check that one out. By far, check that one out. Our good buddy Kyle Thomas and the guys in Exhorter. First album in 30-something years, I believe.
Wow.
If memory serves, it's been a long time. They were one of the most seminal thrash bands, back in the day, and then people have been gushing over that album for 3 decades, and finally they put out a new one, and it's just amazing sounding, man. You got to check it out.
Okay, Exhorter, you said?
Exhorter, yes.
Yeah, Exhorter.
Believe me.
Okay.
Believe me, there's nobody on the metal scene doesn't know who Exhorter is. It hasn't been late for this album. So check it out, man. It's really good. I know they have a Exhorter Facebook page. They probably have Exhorter.com or God knows what. I do not have the website information in front of me, but use the Google machine and you will find them.
Exactly.
Also, Powershrine Facebook page. We do not have a website yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
Sledgehammer Facebook page. All of our links to our shows and our music and all of that stuff. There's poor bastards like us out there still flapping around on the rug trying to put our music out there and be heard. Go give us a listen. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Mentioning Jesse Mack a few minutes ago, growing up in the Jackson area, I knew Jesse.
So you're well familiar with Mr. Mack.
Yeah. Well, I actually saw a show that y'all headlined at the Armory in Jackson, Mississippi, and his band Cyrus was on the bill.
Well, I tell you, we've just recently done a couple of shows. My band Powershrine has done a couple of shows with his current band Crow, which is spelled Kreaux.
Exactly. Yes.
Crow.
Yeah, I know all the guys in that band too.
Band.
So.
We just played with them 2-3 weekends ago. We played the show with them up in Jackson.
Oh, at
Cowboys.
Cowboy Saloon. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they are now doing a show down here. I think this month or next. They're doing a show here at a club that we just played with Sledgehammer. He got himself a foot in the door. Jesse did over there, and they're going to be playing the show down here at a place called the Kenner City Bar.
Okay.
So anybody here local that can hear this podcast, by all means, look for that and get yourselves out there. Kreaux, Crow. They have a Facebook page as well. They might even have a website. Who knows? Maybe they've got their shit together. I'm sounding like me.
Well, you know what?
We'll see.
I have a website for my band, but it's just all it is one page, one picture, and it has the links to all the social media and where you can get the EP on. That's all it's
right. Yeah,
that's all I use it for.
The skeleton.
Yeah.
The bare bones. Yeah.
And you don't really need it for anything else because nobody really goes to websites anymore. If they do happen up on it.
I sure hell don't. I not only do I not go to them, I don't know how to even set one up. Otherwise, we'd have one. That's Josh's job. He handles our media stuff. I handle social media. He handles the graphics and the websites and all that kind of shit. That's his.
Yeah.
He's young. He knows about that stuff.
That's cool, man. Well,
I'm still doing cave drawings over here.
I miss the days though of making a flyer and taking it out and putting it up. You just can't do that anymore. You can't.
You know what? And who knew that? And who knew that was the shit we were going to miss? Who knew?
Oh, I know, because we hated doing it, but now it's like if
those are the days, my friend. Those are the days.
Exactly. Danny, man, I appreciate the hell out of it. It's been awesome, and
Thank you, bro. Hey,
Yeah.
stay in touch.
Hey, I will. We'll catch up. Thanks, man.
Okay, Chris, I'll talk to you, buddy.
I do. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.